there's a real chance we could see school choice in Mississippi. Thanks to our new school funding formula, each public school student in our state now has a personalized budget designed to meet their individual education needs. So why not let families take that personalized budget and spend it at a school of their choice? That's precisely what families can now do in 3 of our neighboring states: Arkansas, Louisiana, and Alabama. So why not Mississippi? One of the obstacles standing in the way of school choice in Mississippi has been the rather ridiculously misnamed so-called Parents Campaign. For years, this so-called Parents Campaign has lobbied lawmakers to prevent parent power. Nancy Loom, who runs the so-called Parent Campaign, was at it again recently. In an article called "The Lie of School Choice," she recycled various tired myths and misinformation about what parent power would actually mean. Myth number 1 is the claim that school choice somehow takes money away from our public schools. It doesn't. Now that every child in the public school system in our state has a dedicated budget, what we're proposing is that they be allowed to take their share of state funds to a public school of their choice, public to public. Any family that prefers not to take up their child's place within the public school system because they opt to go private or homeschool instead would receive a tax credit to offset the fact they're currently paying for their child's education twice. It's factually wrong to claim that any of this would divert public money away from public schools. Myth 2 is that school choice somehow means some hidden agenda to deny admissions. Under our proposals, each school district would have the power to define their own capacity. This is precisely in line with what Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann has said publicly he would support. Schools need to have strong safeguards that allow them to reject applications from those out of district with a history of disciplinary problems. Myth number 3 is that school choice is somehow unfair because it doesn't provide families with transportation costs. We're not proposing to pay for transportation costs for a very good reason. The point of school standards is to raise standards in failing districts, not to facilitate the transfer of kids from failing districts into good performing districts. Myth 4 is that school choice is all about benefiting private schools rather than raising standards in public ones. Again, this is just false. Private schools in our state are doing fine. Since 2021, the number of kids enrolled in private schools in our state rose from 49,000 to 56,000. It's public schools where enrollment fell 12% over the past decade. That's where school choice is needed. We want school choice in Mississippi, not because we're against public schools, but precisely because we support them and we want them to thrive. Myth 5 is the claim that Mississippi's public schools are delivering impressive results. Now, some districts achieve good results, to be sure, but most don't. 1 in 4 students in the public school system in our state routinely skip school. 4 in 10 fourth graders lack basic reading standards. 8 in 10 eighth graders aren't proficient in math. Now, Mississippi's accountability system may indeed only rate a handful of school districts as being F or D rated. That says more about the inadequacies of the accountability system than it does about the quality of education in Mississippi classrooms. If public schools in our state were doing so well, why are the number of kids enrolled in public schools in such sharp decline? The school choice is unnecessary because standards really are so excellent as Nancy Loom and co claim. Why do they fear the consequences of giving more parents more power? Finally forced to come out and say in public what they've been whispering to lawmakers at the Capitol for years, the anti-school choice campaigners' arguments don't add up. Exposed to scrutiny, the anti-school choice lobby has all the credibility of the Flat Earth Society. Actual parents across Mississippi, as opposed to campaigners claiming to speak for parents, know this. At his excellent policy summit the other day, House Speaker Jason White shared with the 500 plus attendees the results of some polling that he's done. Not only was there massive support for tax reform, but the slide on school choice showed very clearly that there was overwhelming support for parent power in this state. 73% of white Mississippians and 65% of black Mississippians support allowing parents a more active role in choosing their children's education. 84% of Republicans, 57% of Democrats, and a whopping 70% of independents agree. Here's an issue that can unite Mississippi, that all Mississippians can get behind. Time may be up for those who've spent the past decade quietly killing off anything that looks like parent power in various legislative committees. Actual parents aren't on their side, and the anti-parent power lobby may just be about to find that out.